Welcome, wrestling fans, to Evolution of Pro Wrestling. We are so excited. Our 1 year anniversary show. 1 year, Jaden. It felt like it was just yesterday.
No.
You know, and Jaden, I heard you go by Jay now.
Yeah.
He still goes by Jay. New year, new person. Everything is changing. So let's see how that's gonna go. So Jaden, Jay. I'm sorry, Jay.
Get it right, Dad.
Yeah.
Get it right.
Jay is eager to start this topic. You know, 1 year we started from the bottom. We started with these episodes. We came up, and it was just amazing. It was amazing the way everything turned out.
Absolutely.
You know, we enjoy it. Thank you, Greg. We appreciate it. We appreciate you watching. It was just amazing. We had over 40 plus episodes in this podcast, and it's just going to be many more that's going to happen.
Absolutely.
So, and as well as we had a wrestling match last year, we had interviews, we had many talent on the show. More is going to be coming on the show. More surprises, more topics, more history-making stuff is going to happen in this show. And speaking of topics, I'm going to name these superstars. Andre the Giant, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, Triple H, John Cena, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
What do these people have in common, Jaden?
They have all made a really big impact in wrestling. These guys have done at least a really good thing for the business. So guess what, fans? That is today's topic. All about those 10 superstars, what impact they made, people they've gone up against, the bruises, the blood and sweat, all these guys have gone through. So this is a great way to kick off the 1 year anniversary.
That's the topic. Who was the greatest superstar out of those 10 superstars? We are going to discuss that today. Many say Hulk Hogan, many say The Rock, many say Stone Cold, many say Undertaker. That's what our discussion is going to be about. Kevin, thank you for joining us, sir. We appreciate it. Today, this show is going up to new heights.
Yes.
So, when we mention these superstars, Jaden, where do we begin? With these top 10 superstars.
There's nowhere to begin. It's like with these people, it's like you got to go based off of what you think. It's not, whoever came in the first era, whoever came in this era. No, that's not how we do it here. It's whatever comes to your mind. So whatever you think, whatever person that comes to your mind straight away that you think made a huge impact in wrestling, then do it. Say what you have to say. Me, I personally think that Andre the Giant made a huge impact.
Thank you, Will Gonzalez, for joining us in our 1 year anniversary. Look, we already got a comment. Greg Allen says, hands down, Heartbreak Kid, the main event, the icon, the most of all, the showstopper. I gotta agree with you.
I do. They don't call him the showstopper
for nothing. Mr. Main Event,
yeah,
Mr. WrestleMania.
Mr. WrestleMania. He got that name for a reason.
Absolutely.
Shawn Michaels,
but the question is, was he able to sell out like Hulk Hogan?
It depends. I think it depends. Because Hulk Hogan, don't get me wrong, Hulk Hogan to this day still sells out crowds when fans find out that he's going to be in the arena, no matter if he's fighting or not.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Jaden. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Brian has finally arrived for this 1 year episode. Thank you, Brian. Happy 1 year. We appreciate it. We know who you're going to say is the top superstar in this top 10 that we named.
Undertaker.
The Undertaker. We know that's your favorite guy.
Yeah, but hey, we can't sleep on The Undertaker. The guy had a 20-0 record for WrestleMania. He was undefeated till it was sadly broken. But we're not going to talk about the time it was broken.
No.
Undertaker made that huge
about the decade of destruction that he did.
Yes, he did in the streak that he carried on. He carried that streak 20-0. Mm-hmm. There's no one who could do that like Undertaker. There's no one who could do that like Undertaker.
Now, there was one superstar we mentioned besides The Undertaker. The eighth wonder of the world. The ninth wonder of the world. Andre the Giant. First Hall of Famer in the WWE. The man was undefeated 15 years until Hulk Hogan, my favorite guy, beat him at WrestleMania 3.
True. He did beat him at WrestleMania 3.
Exactly. You can't tell me different.
I can't tell you different. But, Andre the Giant broke some records for himself, They still, to this day, have a Andre the Giant memorial and stuff like that for Andre the Giant. And the guy, if he would get a grip of you and chokeslam you, do something to you, please be careful, because that man's hand was probably just as big as my palm. My face.
Now,
His
question,
hand was probably as big
Jada.
as my face.
Who do you think made a bigger impact, in your opinion? Or, matter of fact, let me rephrase that. What's the difference with these 10 superstars when we mention them in this show?
See, with these 10, the difference between all these 10 superstars is, one, some of them come from, or I should say most of them, they come from the same time, but different eras. If you get what I mean by eras, right? They come from different eras, and all these guys made a different impact. All of these guys made different things happen in the WWE. Like for instance, Ric Flair, the dirtiest player in the game. If not, he holds the record for winning the most titles in the WWE right now.
16-time World Heavyweight Champion.
John Cena's right behind him.
They don't call him the dirtiest player in the game for
nothing. Exactly.
Ric Flair was and still is the most dirtiest player in the game.
We can't sleep on John Cena either. John Cena's right behind him.
A Hulk Hogan, he'll never be.
No. There's no one who can be another Hulk Hogan. There's no one who could be a Ric Flair. There's no one who could be a John Cena. There's no one who could be any of these wrestlers on this list right now. That's what makes them different from anybody else.
Well, Will Gonzalez says it was a passing of the torch, that Hulk Hogan didn't actually beat Ric Flair.
It could have been a passing of the torch. I think so.
I really don't know, because everybody knows that match should have been happened at WrestleMania 8. But unfortunately, it did not happen.
Okay, but think of it this way. It could have been a passing of the torch, but it also could have been him actually just beating him. Either way, he still won, so I give him the credit for beating the dirtiest player in the game. But besides the point, it could have been either one. Could have been passing the torch, or you never know. He could have just actually beat the man. He actually could have beat the dirtiest player in the game. So, I don't know.
You mentioned John Cena. John Cena also made a significant impact in the WWE in the Ruthless Aggression era. When he first came in as the Doctor, he came out as his first. He came out regular, just like a normal guy, with tights, whatever. Yeah. And then he came as the Doctor of Thuganomics.
Mr. Rapper, all that stuff, and that with the hat to the side, all that.
No, that completely turned around.
Yeah, that changed.
It caught the attention of the fans. It caught the attention of everybody.
His career did a 360 when he became that character.
He ended up beating the likes of Shawn Michaels.
He ended up beating
Ric Flair.
Yes.
He beat The Rock at one point, even though The Rock beat him first. And we can't leave out The Rock.
We can't.
The most electrifying. This is what makes this
in the WWE.
See, but this is what I'm saying. This is what makes this topic even more unique. Is because of all these it's hard to choose who is the greatest superstar out of these 10 superstars.
It is very hard to choose out of these 10 superstars. Like I said, some of these superstars on these lists has gone against each other more than one time, or if not more than one time, one time. That is so crazy. For instance, we can't forget Stone Cold.
No, the Rattlesnake. The Rock made the Attitude Era. Him and The Rock made the Attitude Era. Those two. Oh man,
those guys had the most.
And listen, I still wanted to see that match between Stone Cold and The Rock and Hulk Hogan, but it never happened. But we did see The Rock against Hulk Hogan.
Those guys went against each other multiple times.
That was a passing of the torch.
That was a passing. Yes, that was a passing of the torch.
Lost at WrestleMania to The Rock, and Hulk Hogan pretty much passed the torch over to The Rock.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what made everything go well.
But not Hulk Hogan. Sorry, The Rock and Stone Cold had a pretty crazy rivalry going on. So just like example, Shawn Michaels and Shawn Michaels and
Stone Cold to win at it. Shawn Michaels and John Cena.
Shawn Michaels and Undertaker.
Listen,
I'm pretty sure most of these guys on this list has gone against each other already.
The only people I say the matches that never happened was Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker. I'm sorry, Shawn Michaels and The Rock.
That did happen.
Shawn Michaels and The Rock.
Yes, that did happen.
And Stone Cold and Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
Those matches never happened.
Wait, Dad, wait. Whoa. We're forgetting what man? How can we forget?
Oh, Roddy Piper. Of course not. Roddy Piper To me,
How can we forget Roddy Piper?
The best heel
that
in the
man
business.
is a legend.
The best heel in the business.
That man is a legend.
The man
all
is the best
time,
heel in
greatest
the business.
heel of all time.
The best heel in the business.
He
I'm sorry. No matter what.
Absolutely amazing. I love his heel.
Will Gonzalez, you mentioned Chris Jericho. I understand he made a major impact in professional wrestling, but not like these people that we named in this list. I'm sorry. He would never be a Hulk Hogan. He would never be an Undertaker.
He would never
be a Shawn Michaels. Nobody on this list. I'm sorry. No. He's a great superstar. Don't get me wrong. He's won numerous titles, major titles. He's the first ever undisputed champion. Yes, I give him that. But he will never be the superstars that are on this list. I'm sorry. And that's the difference with these guys. When you put all these 10 guys together in one list, you're getting superstars from the 80s all the way going into the millennium.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's kind of hard.
It's like
to
going
choose.
from old school to new school is basically what this topic is. It's like we're taking old gimmicks and old wrestlers back from the 80s, just like he said, back from the 80s, coming into the new 2000s, you know, coming into like 2003, 2004 and higher. That's basically what we're doing here. But we're also forgetting another person, Dad. Triple H.
Oh, Triple H, the game.
The game.
The cerebral assassin.
He was HHH at first, but I feel like
Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yes, Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley. That was a corny name.
It was.
And then now
Triple H.
He is Triple H, the game, the cerebral assassin that pretty much took out everybody. He took out Stone Cold. He took out The Undertaker. He took out Hulk Hogan, The Rock. The list goes on and on.
I feel like he was more of a savage type guy when Triple H had the long hair, you know, hit the guy in the head with a sledgehammer, spit out the water. You know, he still spits out water whenever he has his annual matches or something like that. Which, you know, guys getting old, stuff like that. But hey,
he can still go.
He can still, absolutely.
That's got nothing
Triple
to
H,
do with it. Triple H can still do it up.
Of course he can.
That's definitely not a problem.
Of course he can. Triple H is one of the greatest wrestlers I've ever seen to fight in the ring. Triple H is a survivor.
Well, I was waiting for Brian to say something. He said, "Screw that, Taker, baby." He's a Taker fan. He's an Undertaker fan. He's always going to be an Undertaker fan.
We can't forget that match that him and Triple H had in the Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania. The one that
28.
Shawn Michaels was the special guest referee.
That was the match called the End of an Era.
Yes.
And that's what's going on.
Yeah.
With that, when it came to that match, I enjoyed that match. That match was superb.
That match was superior.
I still can watch that match.
I can watch that movie over. I could watch that match over and over.
But the match that stands out to me was still and always will still be Shawn Michaels against The Undertaker at WrestleMania 26.
That movie,
the best match of all time that I've ever seen.
That match placed like top, in my opinion, that match would place top 10 in the greatest matches of all time. If not top 10, top 5.
That's number one. Forget top 10.
Number one.
That's number one. I'm sorry. Wake up, son. Come on.
You wake up. You're telling me to wake up for. You get back into Earth right now. Anyway, back into what we were saying.
Anyway, you see the new attitude is kicking in now with Jay.
Yeah, new attitude, new me.
Yeah,
get used to it.
Continue. Anyway, Triple H had to go through a lot to actually get himself to the top because of everything that went through, especially the curtain call that happened. He got in trouble. Oh, and Brian says Triple H and Taker told a story with those 2 WrestleMania matches, best ever. Yeah. Absolutely. They were excellent matches. They were excellent in Hell in a Cell. They were also the WrestleMania before. They had a no-holds-barred match. That was the first time ever, and I know Brian's going to hate me for saying this, but the first time ever, Undertaker never walked out on his feet.
Yeah, that was.
So it was amazing. That was to see that Triple H actually put him through that.
That takes a lot to do that to The Undertaker because you hit The Undertaker in the head with a steel chair. He does that little devil demonic crazy thing where he just sits right back up and then he just goes on this frenzy and then just starts beating you down. If Triple H can do that, think of what the man is capable of. That takes a lot, like a whole lot just to do that.
See, he put in that face. I knew he was going to get upset because it was true. That was the first time that Undertaker ever was not able to get on his feet.
Which was crazy.
And speaking of The Rock, Jay, before we go further, From Evolution of Pro Wrestling family, we would like to give our deepest condolences to
The Rock.
The
and his
Dwayne
family.
Johnson and his family. Yesterday, we lost an awesome Hall of Famer and awesome superstar, Rocky Johnson. The man was a phenom in the WWE.
Absolutely.
One of the first African-American tag team champions, which there was many people shocked and a lot of people heartbroken about that. So our prayers go out to the Johnson family, to the Iona family as well. Many people, Roman Reigns, and a lot of other people, we give our prayers and blessings to that family. Back to our topic. We apologize for that. When you see Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels, what do you think when you see those two against each other?
I think this is a crazy match. That's just one word, crazy. And then add the other word, match. Insane match. Imagine, they have faced each other once, but, I feel like Shawn Michaels was just making a fool out of himself and was just messing up the match. But I feel like if Shawn Michaels was being serious about the match, Mr. HBK going against, Hulkamania, that would be an intense match right there. Because, Hulk Hogan is a strong guy, and Hulk Hogan was fast.
He's the best.
He sucks.
He's the best.
Anyway, he's not.
So who's your pick?
Who's my pick? Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is my pick.
Really?
Yes. Shawn Michaels is my pick because Shawn Michaels can do it all. Shawn Michaels he has quick feet in the ring. He was a bit of a high flyer. That Mr. Super Kick, all that. There was no one who could do the super kick just like Shawn Michaels. Well, there was no way.
Manny says Ric Flair. He says Ric Flair.
Anybody besides
Hulk Hogan. I don't blame him. Anybody besides Hulk Hogan, please get out of here.
Yeah, no, anybody besides the old man. But yeah.
Anyway, Ric Flair is an old man, but Ric Flair paid his dues. He made it in the business. He did what he needed to do, and that's what's going on when you talk about Ric Flair and The Undertaker. These two fought at WrestleMania one time.
Yes.
Undertaker beat him.
A career? No, that wasn't that match. It was a regular. Yeah.
Undertaker beat him. But he gained a lot of respect of The Undertaker because of the match he had with The Undertaker.
Yeah.
So, but again, I still say to this day, I don't know what WWE was thinking. Why the match never happened at WrestleMania 8 between Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan. That match should have happened all the time. I definitely enjoyed the match with Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair at WrestleMania 24 with the career-ending match.
It was a sad match, though.
Of course it was a sad match.
I was sad to see, Ric Flair go on. But I feel like that was also kind of a passing of the torch that Ric Flair did there. That's probably why they made Shawn Michaels win.
Will Gonzalez, he says it right there. My favorite, the real world heavyweight champion, Ric Flair, wrestled all over the world. Yep, he wrestled over Japan.
Yeah, he wrestled in a lot
Puerto
of
Rico, and I loved his match against Antonio Inoki in Japan. That match I definitely still stands out to me. But a Hulk Hogan he'll never beat.
Yeah, right. Everybody
he hates when I see.
Everybody can be a Hulk Hogan now.
Okay, so what if Shawn Michaels and The Rock would have locked horns? Who do you think would have won?
Would have locked horns if they Well, that's kind of challenging.
Come on. You're thinking too much.
I'm not thinking too much. Let me think.
He mentions John Cena. John Cena is in this list. Manny, you're right. John Cena is also a top superstar that made a run.
Slept on now because I'm gonna be honest, he's not good anymore. But when John Cena was old, hustle, loyalty, respect, and Doctor of Thugonomics, like back in 2013, 2012, 2014, and lower, 14 and lower, I feel like that's when John Cena was actually good as a wrestler and good as a character.
He's still good. What are you talking about?
I don't like John Cena anymore.
He's still good.
No.
What, just because he left a little bit and went to go make movies like The Rock?
He's just, I don't like him anymore.
Well, because he has that respect and all that stuff.
No,
and you can't see
I used to that was the gimmick that I liked after he made the Doctor of Thugonomics. I just don't like John Cena anymore.
Well, John Cena has made an impact in this organization.
He has, yes. Don't get me wrong.
So you can't take none away from him.
Okay, but what does he do? I'm not taking anything away from him.
But you pretty much are.
That's what you're not understanding. I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm just saying I don't like him anymore. Jesus, Dad, please come back.
Anyway, Brian. Brian says, "Screw that. Let's go take her. Let's go take her. Let's go take her." This guy's a clown. Okay, for an example, with The Undertaker, he mentions The Undertaker. You mentioned John Cena. What if John Cena would have fought The Undertaker when they both were at their prime? Who do you think would have won?
Now,
Brian, I'm asking you that question without being biased.
Which Undertaker are you talking about?
Give me an honest answer.
Which Undertaker are you talking about?
The Phenom, The Undertaker, not American Badass.
All right.
The Phenom, The Undertaker.
And then the Doctor of Thugonomics.
The Doctor of Thugonomics, both at their prime.
I'm sorry, I gotta give it to Undertaker. I mean, not Undertaker, John Cena.
Why?
Sorry, gotta give it to John Cena. John Cena was, more of that savage wrestler. He didn't care. He would talk spit to your face. And then that just makes the character angry. And when you get angry, you get sloppy, which means the other person has an advantage in the ring. So I feel like if John Cena was, to back talk Undertaker or something like that, Undertaker would have gotten upset probably, and then he would have tried to beat down John Cena, which he probably would for the few minutes of the match, and then John Cena would have had that miraculous comeback like he always does, especially if he gets busted in the head with a chair or something. He just makes this comeback. So I gotta give this one to John Cena.
Okay, I give you that.
I gotta give that one to John Cena.
I would have to say The Undertaker, because The Undertaker. So don't roll your eyes. It's true. The Undertaker was a phenom. He was the best. Still is one of the best out there. And we have a comment. Russell Jackson says, "What's up with DDP?" DDP was a fine superstar. Excuse me. Made an impact in this organization too. Diamond Dallas Page.
Yeah,
he made an impact in this organization. But with all the respect, Mr. Jackson, he was nothing compared to these men we have on this list today. I'm sorry. Triple H, The Rock, Stone Cold, these men made the Attitude Era. The Undertaker, Cena. Brian says Cena would have gave him a run for his money. Taker had that gave him power. He was unstoppable back then. Taker would have driven his head through the mat. I agree.
I don't agree.
I agree with that. See? That's
okay, but John Cena was more ruthless back then. If they were like in a type to have a no holds bar match, then I think John Cena would have won that. But if it was just a regular schedule for one fall match, then of course Undertaker would win that match, because Undertaker is good with those type of matches, especially since you can't grab any weapons, and Undertaker was fast with his hands. He had like UFC type hands, and he was quick feet. He was quick feet in the ring, and he had good hands to top it all off. So that just made him an unstoppable beast in the ring. But if he was the type of person to use weapons against the Undertaker, depending on the weapon that you use, you can beat Undertaker. You just gotta understand Undertaker and how.
But that's what I'm saying, Jay. That when it comes to something like that, it's like you can't. It's hard to compare with John Cena and the Undertaker.
Yeah, well, old John Cena and the Undertaker. Yes.
Now, when you mention Undertaker and John Cena, what if we would have had The Rock against Hulk Hogan of the 80s? What do you think about that?
You answer that.
Hulk Hogan all the way.
Yeah, because he's your favorite wrestler.
Moses Marquez said, John Cena talk? Yes, Moses, you came just in time. Remember, the list that we had was John Cena, Andre the Giant, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, Triple H.
He's a Taker fan too.
He's a Taker. Lord. He's a Taker fan too. But guys, you guys are missing something though. You guys talk about The Undertaker. You talk about Shawn Michaels. You talk about The Rock. But to me, they couldn't take on Andre the Giant.
What?
The ninth wonder of the world, Andre the Giant?
So what you're saying is Hulk Hogan was the only man in that list that could take him on.
He body slammed him.
Okay, and he body slammed him. Body slammed him.
Before you get upset.
What else did he do?
Did the leg drop. He beat him.
Yeah, the leg drop. What else did he do? What else did he do? Nothing.
A lot. He did a lot.
Yeah,
Stop it.
No, he did not.
Anyway, Will Gonzalez comments on, guys, with all the respect, but all of these guys you mentioned, very few of them actually wrestle. They wrestle like show gimmicks. Triple H wrestled, Shawn Michaels wrestled, Ric Flair, Randy Orton. Okay, Hulk Hogan, yes, was a gimmick, but he still gave the fans what they wanted. He still came out with a sellout crowd. You know what I mean? The same thing with Stone Cold. Stone Cold was just an ass-kicking person. You know what I mean? So it was tough.
Excuse me.
And now Brian says, bro, Taker took out Hogan back when the tombstone on the chair. No, Brian. I'm talking about when Hulk Hogan was Hulkamania in the 80s. When it first started. And then, he also, Christopher Brown says Taker could have taken out Andre. I don't think so.
Yeah, he could have.
I don't think so.
Nah, I agree.
Then Brian says, okay, Taker could take out Giant Gonzalez, who was way bigger than Andre the Giant. But who was more talented, Brian?
It doesn't
Andre
matter.
the Giant or Giant Gonzalez?
Doesn't matter.
Come on. Then Moses Marquez says Hogan goes over because, well, in the 80s, and that was the way. Laughing out loud. It wasn't a good way, but it was. The Rock is a bigger star than Hogan.
I agree with that.
I don't agree with that.
I agree with
I don't
that.
agree with that.
He is an absolute
That's
big
BS.
star.
I don't agree with that.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Dad.
it is.
Stop getting jealous, Dad.
No.
Yes,
Absolutely not.
yes.
No.
Yes.
Well, Manny says the match that would have been good would have been The Rock versus Bret Hart. Yes, Bret Hart. It would have been a hell of a match, but it never happened. And Will Gonzalez agrees with Moses Marquez. I don't agree with it.
I agree with him.
Nope, I don't agree with it.
I agree with Moses.
The Rock, yes, listen, The Rock is the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. But it's like, it can't happen. I'm sorry. He says, I hear you, Jaden. I'm yawning at Hogan too.
Exactly.
Hogan talk too. Come on, man.
Hulk
Give the
Hogan,
man his
no,
respect.
no,
Oh,
no.
by the way,
He's
Moses,
got
it's
enough
no
of his
longer
respect.
Jay.
Yeah, it's
Jaden.
Jay.
It's Jay
It's
now
Jay.
for the show.
My new name. Yeah, remember that.
Anyway, Russell Jackson says that The Rock and Stone Cold was the best match of all time. I'm not denying that. That was one of the greatest matches I've ever seen in all three WrestleManias. The Rock and Stone Cold. But who had a better impact in the business? Stone Cold or The Rock?
I think Stone Cold had a bigger impact in the business. But I think he had it because, back in that day, the general manager and all of the managers did not like Stone Cold. So he would always have a rivalry going on with them. And back then, they were the stuff. All of the managers, they actually used to come out, demand matches, talk about all these things, and actually wrestle for themselves. So him not just going against one person, him having a rivalry with the whole McMahon family was absolutely amazing. And that was a good way to start things out, especially because stunning Steve Austin, I didn't like. Stone Cold Steve Austin was when things hit a 360 and when things actually started getting good for Stone Cold's career.
Well, Manny just said Cena and Taker beat the Big Show, and he was more talented than Andre the Giant. I don't think so. I don't think Big Show was more talented than Andre the Giant. I'm sorry. He was.
I think Big Show was quicker than Andre the Giant.
Yes, but talented like Andre, I don't think so.
Talented wise, no.
The man was the first person to ever.
And Vince made Raw. Yeah, exactly. Stone Cold and Vince made Raw.
No, of course they made Raw.
Yeah.
Because that was the Attitude
That was the
Era.
Attitude, yes.
That's where it came from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, we got a large comment here of Christopher Brown. Wait a minute. Moses Marquez says Stone Cold again, The Rock is bigger star, but Austin did more for wrestling. Exactly.
Right.
Again, I don't think Rock is the better star than Hulk Hogan. That's just my opinion. But you have yours. And then Christopher Brown says if you're going to compare Austin to Dwayne in terms of drawing power, I'd say it's pretty much even. Austin drew a ton of money prior to Owen breaking his neck. True. And Dwayne earned I'm just going to say it, a shitload for Vince McMahon before the Scorpion King helped launch his movie career. You're absolutely right. Then Brian says, listen, Hogan paved the way for wrestling, but he did not do it alone because if it wasn't for the platform he was given, Hulkamania wouldn't exist. Yes, he had very long run, and he is a fave of mine. But like Moses said, in the 80s, it was Hogan all day.
Yeah, and of course, that was
Hogan all the way.
That was Hogan's time to shine.
And only competition he really had was Andre, Slaughter, Savage, and the Warrior. If Taker was there of the 80s as Taker, he definitely would have killed the Hulkamania thing. See, that's when you're wrong.
No, that's when he's right.
Not only did he fight those superstars, he had matches against King Kong Bundy. He had matches against Paul Orndorff, which were great. He had matches against Terry Funk, Bob Orton. You know, he had many good matches. So you can't knock him for that. Also, he had matches against George the Animal Steel at a point, Kamala. You know what I mean? And then Will Gonzalez says, example, guys, Pedro Morales was great superstars back in the days, was champion for 4 years, and wrestled big names. He had a rivalry with superstar Billy Graham. Yes, you're absolutely right. Pedro Morales was the first ever Hispanic heavyweight champion of the world. But he will never be a Hulk Hogan. He will never be a Rock. He will never be a Stone Cold.
Okay, are you done blabbering about
Oh,
Hulk Hogan?
Lord, here we go.
Because no one wants to hear about this old
I don't
man.
care who wants to hear
No one
it.
wants to hear about this old man anymore.
He's not an old man.
Okay, then what is he, a young age teenager?
No, he's just getting older.
Exactly, he's an old man. Like someone I'm sitting by, but besides the point.
Really?
Yes, really.
Okay, I'm going to forget you said that. Anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Jose Gonzalez, thank you, brother, for joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you for the anniversary wishes. Excuse me. And Manny says back in the old day, match was like 5 minutes long. Which
Yeah.
he's
Matches-
right.
matches
Back
for
then.
sure.
And Bruno Sammartino, excellent superstar. I'm not taking anything away from him. You know what I mean? But it's like, okay, wait, Christopher Brown has a question. He said, let me ask you something. Ask you this then, Lewis. How many members of the locker room did Hogan keep down due to massive ego during the 80s? I think one big name right off the top of my head, Roddy Piper. No, that's when you're wrong. Roddy Piper even said it in Legends of Wrestling when he was on the show. Roddy Piper was hard to do business with because of the way he was. He was a heel. He was the top heel that took on Hulk Hogan. But other than that, he still made an impact on professional wrestling. And that's what made the rivalry between him and Hulk Hogan so good. They did the war to settle the score. They did WrestleMania 1. They did in Starrcade in WCW when they were fighting in there. The rivalry was crazy between these two.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to say. And Brian says, take that, old man. I'm not old,
Yeah,
man.
take that, old man.
Shut up.
Take that gray-haired.
Manny says RKO. Randy Orton, RKO, Hulk Hogan. Of course he did. But who won?
Doesn't matter who won.
Hulk
No
Hogan.
one cares about that old man anymore.
Fine. Anyway. So, we're going to give you guys the chance to give us your opinion as to who you think is the greatest superstar out of those top 10 that we named.
No.
Which for many of you that haven't heard the list, here is our list for this topic. For the greatest top 10 superstars of all time. Andre the Giant, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, Triple H, John Cena, The Rock, Stone Cold, and Hulk Hogan. Jaden, I'm going to start off with you. Give me a reason. Oh, wait. Chris Brown says, I hate to say it, Jay, but it's rumored that Hogan and Vince might be having a match at WrestleMania 36. Laughing my ass off. That's never going to happen. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Yeah, no.
All right, Brian is gonna say his answer. Say your answer, Brian. What's your answer? Jay, who is your pick?
I know I said some bad things about John Cena earlier, but I will always be an all-time John Cena fan. Like, always, whatsoever. Yeah, better than Hulk Hogan. Sorry.
Hulk Hogan's the best, man.
Yeah, no.
What, just because he's old?
Yeah, no. No one pays attention to Hulk Hogan anymore.
Okay. Moses says that Ric Flair beat Hulk Hogan all the time. I don't think so. Because Hulk Hogan did beat him in Bash at the Beach and in WWE. Russell Jackson says he's going with The Rock.
Yeah, but I'm going with John Cena.
I'm going with Hulk Hogan.
Of course you are going with Hulk Hogan.
Because Hulk Hogan's a better one.
Yeah, whatever. No one cares.
Well, supposedly Hulk Hogan... What do you mean no one cares?
No one cares that Hulk Hogan is the best one. Because no one likes Hulk Hogan anymore.
How nobody likes Hulk Hogan?
Because no one talks about him.
Oh, Lord.
We're talking
about him now.
Yeah, now we're talking
Will
about
Gonzalez says Ric Flair.
anything but Hulk Hogan, and we're fine.
All right, anyway, just I'm sorry, fans. Continue to put your picks on there.
Yeah, no.
As who was the top superstar that we named. We mentioned our picks. We're gonna mention why we enjoy having them as the top superstars of all time.
So that I got a question for you. Why is Hulk Hogan your pick?
Hulk Hogan is my pick because when I was a wrestling fan and still a wrestling fan, I've been watching Hulk Hogan since I was 5. Hulk Hogan pretty much did it all in professional wrestling. He paved, like Brian said, he paved the way for other superstars. And yes, Manny just said Stone Cold saved the WWE, best Hogan and the NWO. Hulk Hogan made WCW what it was when they had the NWO. Stone Cold made WWE. So that's what I'm saying. How can you not give Hulk Hogan his due if he paved the way and did what he needed to do in WCW?
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Okay, you mentioned John Cena. Give us your input on John Cena.
See, because John Cena I wouldn't say can do it all, but John Cena was more of a risk taker type guy. And when it comes to like more hardcore matches, like Attitude Era matches, mic skills, John Cena had those type of things. John Cena had the titles. John Cena had it all. John Cena, before he was even hustle, loyalty, and respect.
Blah, 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 blah. All boring, passe. Nothing compared to what Hulk Hogan did. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We're still talking about an old man.
Yes.
Just like how you're old and you're so old that you still haven't forgot the time that I whooped your booty in that match. Oh yeah, I whooped an old man's butt in that match. How do you feel?
You know what? Fans, I'm going to walk off the show because that was just total disrespectful what he just did.
Yeah,
he's going to finish the show, okay?
He's being a little baby right now. But, yeah, anyway, back to what I was saying. I still feel like John Cena would be the better man because John Cena...
Call me on now, punk.